Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I want to thank everybody for the great feedback that I get on the message boards and the compliments also. I mean, the compliments sometimes are very undeserving by me, I believe. I get a lot of comparisons that I don't think are good for the people that I'm being compared to. But I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate the feedback, because a lot of times I use the feedback to buy other books that have benefited me. There's a book that's in the mail right now that I bought because of Mr. Talavera that I'm very excited about, and I'll show it when it comes. Should have been here by now, but USPS is taking their time right now in Christmas time. But anyway, the last video that I made, I'm going to be deleting that for my comic shop, because I was rewatching it and I left out a couple of things, and I just don't. I don't want to. I don't have a big production here. I don't have a. I don't even have a startup video, man. I don't have a catchphrase. It's just me shooting the what, right? But I want to put out good content. So, and I want to put out content that's worth it. And I don't think that last video, it was okay, but I left out a lot of stuff, and I'm sure that there's a couple of guys that picked up on it. Like I know for a fact a guy like Spiffy and definitely Wilbert picked up on a couple of things that I did wrong on my comic shop video, but I'm gonna make that up today. But anyway, because I'm deleting it, I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to start this off like this, right? So these are the 4 books that I showed on that video, right? That were reholdered. Now, one thing I didn't show in that video was the price that it cost to get them reholdered. Oh, the other box came in today also for the reholder. This is the other box that came in that has the other reholder of the other 3 books, and let me show that. Take these out. Okay, so these came in. Looks a lot better with the special label. Now, getting these done, very expensive. I'm going to show you guys the prices. If you ever go after this book, Hulk Future Imperfect, this does come with a newsstand. The newsstand would be in the back. Okay, so if you're looking for these in the wild, look in the back of the book. See if you see the newsstand. They're much rarer in the newsstand, but it's still a nice little book to have. First appearance of the Maestro. I had these in old labels. I do believe I showed them before I sent them out. Labels were not in great shape, and it was the second one of these, right? So I sent 2 of them, and here's the other book. So there's actually 2. I'm gonna say 3 books. The primer, Fantastic 448, and this one right here, 9.6, that I was most interested in getting reslabbed, because I wanted I wanted the special label for this one, but the Fantastic Four and all the other ones, it was pretty much, I just didn't like the old labels at all, so I wanted them reholdered and relabeled. And the reason is, it's because they're going into the PC. I mean, look, eventually I'm going to sell, one of these is going to stay in the PC, but I'm going to sell all the other ones, and I'm going to try and get 9.8 on that. I want to see if I got other ones like this as well, but they're in better holders. I might have another one in an older holder, but whatever. So this is how much this costs. All right, this is just for getting reholder, guys. Like, shipping is, when you're getting a reholder, shipping really is the the big charge here. All right. The Reholder itself doesn't cost that much. As you could see, for these 4 books, Reholder for those four books is only $60. Now they charge you $5 for each submission, but the shipping is $20. That comes out to $85, plus the shipping that you paid to send to CGC. The reason it's $10 is because I sent 4 different submissions here, so I just averaged it out to $10 for each one of the Reholders, right? And the reason there's 2 Reholders is because there's the special labels, right? So the custom labels, it's a different submission for custom labels than there are for regular Reholders. So altogether for these 4 books comes out to $95, $85, and then a $10 ship to. For the 3 books comes out to $93, right? So 93 and 95, I mean, you're looking right there at $190 just to get 7 books Reholdered. That's no joke. It's no joke. Now, a lot of people may be asking, so why did you do it? Why? Well, reason I did it is because, one, I wanted to, and because they're going in my PC. So these aren't books that I'm planning to sell anytime soon, except for some of them, right? But the way that I look at it, just this book alone out of the 7 pays for, as much as this book has increased. I paid $400 for this book graded. So and I didn't like the holder, and it has increased so much that just this book alone, yeah, that could be money in my pocket, but it makes it, whenever, you know, my kids go to sell it, it's gonna make it a little bit better for them to, you know, to sell it then, whenever then is, or if I ever come into some harsh times and I have to sell it myself. Like I said, I mean, my intention is to hold on to certain books, you know, but you never know what life brings your way. You know, you never know. But the primer staying in the collection. Obviously, one of the Omegas, or maybe both of these Omega Mens will one day get sold. I refuse to sell them at the prices that they're going for right now. Everybody has a certain price of what they would let their books go. I would not let this book go at the current price, Omega Men. Though I do have one that's in my collection that's signed also, and it's a 9.8, so that one is a big one. And of course this one's staying in the collection because the 9.8 is just out of my reach. I wanted to go after the 9.8 again, but it really is out of my reach right now, unless I can finagle something with some other books and then go after the 9.8. Then I do think that it'll drop in price slightly again, but this is the kind of book that it's a classic. It's just a classic book, guys. This is just a classic. I mean, there's certain books that they were printed massively. I think the print run for this was like 500,000. I could check it, but I'm not going to. But, you know, everybody knows that there's a whole bunch of these out there. But because it was Spider-Man and everybody read them, getting them in high grade, it's pretty hard. And there's a ton of Spider-Man fans out there, ton of Venom fans, and they just want to keep these books. They want to keep them, and they want to hold on to them, just like Hulk 181. You know, this book, yeah, it'll drop in price from time to time, but it'll come right back up and be where it was at and surpass that. Just like that book has done how many times already? It's done it like 20 different times. This book has dropped in price and then resurged to the price it was at and surpassed it, and it's doing it again, right? But anyway, that's the realistic prices of reholdering. All right, so let's get to my comic shop video, and this one's gonna be a lot better than before, and I'm deleting that other video like I said. All right, guys. All right, by the way, guys, on any of these reholders, if you live close to CGC in Sarasota, Florida, I mean, the amount that you would be saving, I mean, it's tremendous if you just take the books to them with the submission, and then you can pick them up as well. I mean, you're paying $15 a book, you know, and I think you'll probably be saving the $5 submission, I'm assuming, but it's $15 a book for reholdering them. So yeah, not bad. All right, so here we go, my comic shop. So we're gonna do a search. We're gonna do the same search on my comic shop. We're gonna put Star Wars #1, and we're gonna go to search. That's gonna take us to this page right here. All right, so what my comic shop does, it's not as clear as eBay, right? On eBay you could see all the pictures. On here you don't, right? What you're gonna see is, now you could put by what's in stock, CGC, you can do that one auction, but I like watching the whole thing, all issues. So the highest graded one will always be the top one, and it'll go down, so it'll be highest graded, then the next highest graded, and so on, and then on the bottom you'll have all your raws. But in order to see them, you're going to have to click on them. So even if you want to know if one is, say, a newsstand or not, you're going to have to look at the scans to see if that's a newsstand or not. As you could see, that the Star Wars that we saw, that was a 9.8, is gone. It got sold. The listing on eBay disappeared, meaning that the person that bought it from my comic shop. Smart choice, very smart choice. I would have bought that book if I had the funds. It's a book to hold. So I'll show you guys. All right, I'll show you guys the difference of buying and selling. So we're gonna go to that buyer. We're gonna assume that buyer paid 6% taxes. I pay a little higher than that here where I'm at, right? But let's say 6% in taxes. So on eBay they had that book listed for $3,050. If he would have bought it on eBay, he would have paid $3,050. It was free shipping for him. The taxes would have been $183 at 6%, for a total of $32.33. However, he bought it at my comic shop. In my comic shop, it was listed for $26.95. He would have paid a 3%. This is what I left out in the other in the other video. He would have paid a 3% consignment fee. That would have been $80.85 plus $10 shipping. On top of that, he would have also paid taxes. His taxes on that would have been 6%, $167.15, for a total of $2,953. That's his total price that he would have paid on my comic shop for Star Wars #1 CGC 9.8. versus, I mean, just the total price alone is less than what he would have paid on eBay regular price, because my comic shop is going to charge you all those fees that he would have paid, especially that PayPal fee, right? Because on my comic shop still has to pay that 10% fee. On eBay, all the fees that my comic shop would have gotten charged on that listing, they pass it on to the buyer, right? So that's why they raised the price of that book to $3,050 on my comic shop, on eBay. My comic shop does. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to get better deals on my comic shop. All that means is that if you see a book that's a good deal on eBay and it's a my comic shop listing, go to my comic shop. You'll get it for less there, right? You have to do the math and see what benefits you, because it's not like my comic shop is choosing the price that they're listing at, right? That seller is deciding to sell that CBCS for $850. The CGC, that seller is deciding to list it for $890. Now me, I'm not going to click on them, but you know, and it actually tells you right there what the 3% premium fee is for the consignment, right? It tells you right there. So I would prefer CGC over CBCS. Look, people are different. In my estimation, you want to call that, or my opinion really, is that CGC graded books are much more sought after than any grading company, including CBCS. I've only sent one submission to CBCS, and it's still yet to come, and I've already gotten bad news from it. I'll talk about that when it comes back. All right. I sent it to Mr. Kendra, and yeah, he gave me some bad news. All right, so here is what the seller on Star Wars #1 would have done. So that seller sold it on my comic shop for $2,695. They charge you $30 for the first 300 at 10%, but then they charge you the rest at 8%, so that's minus $191.60. There's I'm figuring it's $5 to ship it to MCS. Let's say that it cost him $5 to ship it to my comic shop, so that's also included as cost. And he ended up getting $2,468.40 for that, right? And he listed it at $26.95. Now, if he would have listed it on eBay, now I know what people are gonna think. Well, if it would have sold on eBay at $30.50, why would he list it at $26.95? Because $30.50 is what my comic shop would list it at, right? We'll talk about that in a second, but we're talking about listing at the same price that you would list in both of them, because that's what I do. I list on eBay as I would list on my comic shop, same price, because I know well, I'll talk about that in a second. But all right, so on eBay, if he would have listed it on eBay, 10% right off the bat would have been $269.50. Now here's what the big trick is here too, right? He would have paid 3% on the total of what the buyer would have paid PayPal, right? Because it's a money transaction. He's paying 3% on that PayPal money transaction. The buyer would have paid $26.95 plus $15 shipping plus $162.60. And that would have been $28.72.60. At 3% is $86.18. That's all paid by the seller, right? because it's a money transaction for the seller on eBay. Plus, he would have had to pay $15 shipping, right? And that's now, and that's not even including insurance, right? So that could have been insurance that, because you're taking a big chance, really, just shipping that without insurance. I would insure it, right? So that's $2,324 that he gets back versus $2,468 that he's getting back from my comic shop. The savings right there is $144.08. That's in the seller's pocket. For the buyer, just for buying on my comic shop, he's got $280 savings on these figures. Significant. That is significant. Both of them are significant. So those are fees that eBay is keeping, you know, or actually that is eBay. That is eBay or PayPal. Now, PayPal is no longer an eBay company. I actually didn't even know that, to tell you the truth. I was reading the Wilbert's comments, and I think he mentioned that. I thought they were still eBay. I thought they were still an eBay company, but apparently eBay sold it. But either way, though, that's a fee that you don't have to pay when you list in my comic shop. So I'll give you guys the pros and the cons of listing in my comic shop. There is no cons in buying in my comic shop. You're going to save no matter what the price of the book is. You're going to save, period. If you see that listing on eBay is what I'm saying, right? If you see the listing on eBay. So selling on my comic shop versus eBay. Here's the pros. One is you get a better return on investment on high price books. Now that's the key, on high price books. What is high price though? I would say, in my opinion, $200 and higher, in my opinion, right? They're going to charge you 10% up to $300, and then after $300 is 8%. Two, pros, reputation. People trust this company, so they're more likely to buy from them than they are from Joe Schmo, right? Me. So if I put a high price book out there, more than likely they're going to look more, if my comic shop lists it, they're going to trust them more. I would. Now it doesn't really have to do, I mean, you know what, it does have to do with the 100% positive feedback. I mean, that has some portion of validity to it, 100% positive feedback. But they just have a reputation, you know. If just like eBay, they will return the book if you're not satisfied with it, or if you don't receive it, you'll get payment, you know. So, but that's number two, reputation. Number three is convenience of not having to ship them. So even, let's say, if it's going to be a wash for you to sell it on my comic shop versus selling it on eBay, maybe you just don't want to. I sent 25 books. Over here I have to, like, if I list it on eBay, I'll have to come up with 25 boxes and 25 shipping materials, and I got to take the book myself to the post office or UPS or FedEx or whatever. I have to do the work versus like sending 25 books to my comic shop, one shot, and I forget about it, right? They do the legwork after that. So that's convenience, right? That's three. And then the four is check payment. So the check payment pretty much nullifies the PayPal fee, right? That's 3% that you don't have to pay. So that $86 that seller for Star Wars, he had to pay $86. He could have put that $86 in his pocket, because my comic shop sent them a check, you know. Now here's the cons though. One, you may get a better return from eBay on books under $200, and that's a fact. And how? You don't get a better return on the fee. So because the fee is still 10% for both, right? Anything under 300 is still 10%. However, you are saving the 3% fee on the PayPal, but you can make that back up on the shipping, because now you can name the shipping on eBay. So a lot of times, but you got to kind of luck out, right? Because you can't put the shipping at $20, right? You can't do that. But you can probably put the shipping at $15, and then maybe get a box, recycle a box, and recycle shipping materials, let's say, and you can ship it like that, and maybe pick up some of those fees back on that shipping, right? It's up to you. So you can end up doing just a little bit better on lower price books, right? So that's a con, I would say. Anything under $200. Search engine may not list certain books the way that you might want them to get listed. I talked about a signed Stan Lee book that I've had there for half a year. You know, it doesn't say it's signed on the eBay listing that my comic shop puts. I don't like that. You know, it's because of the search engine. There's certain books that you're probably better off just listing yourself, even though it's going to cost you more money, though. But ultimately, it probably ends up being better that you list a certain book like that. If that book doesn't sell in the next probably month, I'm going to request it back and pay the shipping back to me, and just list it myself. Okay, so here's another one. And I would say this is the last one. Only 2 pictures get listed on eBay for my comic shop. So that's a con, because there's certain books that you may want to see more pictures on as a buyer, right? You might want to see more details on it. So I think that's a con as well. But for most comics, especially a comic that's listed, you know, over $200, is pretty much a no-brainer to list it on my comic shop, in my opinion, unless it has certain listing qualities that you may want to put out on eBay yourself, and you might want to write it yourself, like say the comics Witcher books, right? I don't know if my comic shop is going to put its on the listing in eBay that it's the Witcher first appearance, comics number 27, let's say, or that comics number 29 is the first. No, actually, it would be number 30, or is it 31? That's the first Yennefer. You know, you don't know that, so yeah. So you might want to list that yourself, let's say. There's other books that you may want to put something that they won't put. But anyway, that's my comic shop video. Oh, I'm going to show you one last thing. This is what I mean about lower price books. Okay. So this is a sell that I had. I just sold a Bane #1 on my comic shop for $135. My comic shop charge, I believe they charged $10 shipping on that. So the buyer, this is what the buyer paid for that book: $153.70, because they paid $135 plus 10 shipping. This is assuming a 6% tax rate, $8.70. However, that book was listed on eBay. It did not sell on eBay, luckily, because somebody was savvy and they bought it from my comic shop. On eBay, they had listed it for $155. So right off the bat, they saved. So they had it on eBay for $6 shipping though. So the seller would have paid $966 on taxes. That's $170.66 that they would have paid on eBay if they would have bought that book there. That's pretty decent savings right there. Almost $20, you know, $17. Who wouldn't want to save $17 on a book? That's $17 you use in your pocket. You can have a really good lunch with that. All right. As a seller myself, this is what I made. So as a seller, this is what it cost me. $13.50 because it's 10%. It cost me $3. It actually cost me less than that to ship that to my comic shop because I ship more than 20 books. It cost me a little bit less than $3. I put it as $3 though. So it's $118.50 that I got back. If I would have sold it myself on eBay, I would have listed it for $135. Now, why wouldn't I have listed it the way they listed at $155? Because I don't think I would have sold it. You know, I don't have their reputation. It's all about reputation. I would have listed it same way in both websites. So $135 I would have listed on eBay. eBay would have charged me $13.50, which is the same thing that my comic shop would have charged me, 10%. But eBay would have charged me $4.61 for the PayPal fee, right? Because of what the seller would have paid. And then I would have gotten back $116.89 versus $118.50. Now, I could have easily made more money on that book if I would have listed it on eBay myself, simply by upping the shipping fee to $15. I would have made more money. I would have made more money on eBay on this book. But why didn't I? Because it's slightly more. It's not that much more. But you know, I didn't have to ship it. They took care of it. Now I'm just waiting on my payment. You know, so yeah, it's convenience. It's really convenience. That's the reason why I did it. I was shipping books to them anyway, so might as well. I threw certain books in there that were under $200. You know, yeah. I hope this was helpful. We'll be putting out more videos soon, and I'm hoping before the end of the year to have the Blue Marvel giveaway. And like I said, it's either going to be a 9.2 or a 9.4. I am expecting those books. Mr. Kendra, I talked to him, and not talked to him, via email, and he sent me a tracking number that CGC has sent out the books already. So yeah, hopefully get them in this week. I did not look at the grades. However, I'm expecting, man, I mean, I don't want to jinx myself here, but I'm hoping to get at least 4 9.8s, at least 4. We'll see. I mean, most of them were projects though, but like I said, either a 9.2 or a 9.4 will be given away. All right, guys. Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody is doing well, and